Hi, I'm Dirk Dusharme and welcome to Technorazzi. Last week I got a call from a viewer wanting us to show how to use a torque wrench. So we've gone back to Craig Howell at CPM Labs in Rancho Cordova, California, where Craig is going to show us how to use a torque wrench, how they're calibrated, and what to watch out for when you're taking care of them. Today, Craig, I guess we're going to look at, well, it looks like a torque wrench.
Torque wrench.
Great, tell me about it.
This is a micrometer style torque wrench. You dial in the number for the torque that you're after. When you reach that torque, it'll give a click. It'll give a little pop. You'll know you're there. It'll momentarily release its torque.
And how do you adjust this?
In this case, you pull on the little metal bezel and you just dial it right into whatever number you're after. In this case, we'll start off just dialing it into 50, looks like 55 inch-pounds. And we would put it on the calibrator.
And what are we looking at here? What is this?
These are torque transducers, and they're hooked up to our display, and this display measures the torque. This transducer is set for inch-ounce. This one goes from 10 inch-ounce to 100. This one goes from 10 inch-pounds to 100 inch-pounds. This one goes from 10 foot-pounds to 100 foot-pounds. And this goes from 60 to 600 foot-pounds.
And as you're torquing on this, it's giving you a torque reading.
It'll give a readout, okay. Yes. I'm going to set this up to a higher range.
Now, what's actually happening inside as you're
compressing a spring, and
okay.
that's a key factor to how these have to be cared for.
And the spring is actually pushing on something that actually makes it harder and harder to
yes, there's inside. There's a little breakover. Now we're set up to the 250 inch-pound. And we're going to give it a few pops. Usually our standard says to give it 5 clicks before we take our reading.
Okay. Okay. Let's back. I'm a little confused at what's actually happening. So that little click, that means it thinks it's reached its torque.
It has. Yes.
Okay.
You've reached 250. If you watch the display, you'll see it.
246.
246.
Yeah.
It's set at 250 with the tolerance. It can go from 240 to 260.
Okay.
So it's reading well within the range.
Now, why do you click it 5 times before?
That's just to release any internal friction, any dried up grease, anything inside of it. So as we mentioned, this is a spring-loaded device. You never leave it set to the number you're at overnight. Any spring-loaded device does not like to be left compressed. You'd always release it all the way back down to the lowest setting.
And what would happen if you didn't do that?
Your numbers would be off. It's hard to say which way they would go. Sometimes they'd be too high or too low.
Okay.
And then if you released it and left it set there for about 2 or 3 days and took the readings again at the right number, you get a whole different series of numbers. So your numbers are meaningless if you leave it cranked up.
So basically what you're saying is once you're done using the wrench, you should take the tension off of it.
Yes. So I'm going to set it up to how we would actually calibrate it. We click it 5 times at its maximum, then we start at the low and we work our way up doing 5 different sets of readings.
Okay.
So I'm going to change over transducers.
And you change the setting here because now you're working from a different range.
I just turned it off.
Oh, you turned it off. Okay.
Make sure that it's still set up to inch-pound and to first peak, which is the style of reading we're taking. Yep, we're set to 0 inch-pounds first peak. So now I've taken this down to the first set point, which is 50. This is a 0 to 250 foot-pound or inch-pound torque wrench, and you never check below 20%. These torque wrenches are designed to be used 20% to full scale. Now I'm set up on the lower range transducer, and we're going to check this torque wrench at 5 different points throughout its travel, starting at 20%, then 40, 60, 80, and 100% of its range.
Okay.
These torque wrenches are designed to be used at minimum. The lowest setting you could use is 20% of its range. Even if it was graduated from 0 to 250, you're not doing yourself a favor to check a part below 40 or 50 inch-pounds.
So if you had to measure a part, let's say at 30 inch-pounds, you should be using a different wrench. Not
Smaller wrench.
Okay.
This would not be the right tool.
Okay.
Just like if you had to check a 200 foot-pound part, this again wouldn't go that high.
Okay.
So we're set up on 50 inch-pound, and our tolerance for this direction would be 48 to 52 inch. And we'll click it a few times and we'll see what we get. 49.41. 49.37, 49.72, so staying right in the 49 range.
Okay.
We would average. We typically will do 4 or 5 clicks and average the readings.
Okay.
Now we're going to set it to 100 inch-pounds, and we'll take a series of readings. And the tolerance on this with the 4% would be 96 to 104. It has to read somewhere in between there. It's 98.42, 98.83, 99. So we're staying in the same range, 98, 99. We would average the readings.
Okay. Now, are these actually adjustable? I mean, as a calibration lab, if it's not within the range.
Yes, a lot of times they come in, they're way too low, they're way too high. A lot of times they've been left set midway.
Okay.
So we do have ways to do that. Usually what you'll do is we will disassemble it part of the way, set it to a known low reading, then either up the shaft there's an adjustment screw. Sometimes they have it up here. That would be for the high range. We go back and forth. The main point to remember on these is to keep them clean, and if it's spring loaded, unwind it when you're done using it.
Okay.
Some of the parts that wear out typically on these are the gears inside the ratchet gear head, and it always seems to go bad when you're at a high torque setting and you're near something sharp.
Okay.
And the gear will slip. You'll end up either scraping your knuckles. So a lot of times when we're doing these, especially when we're just starting and we're doing the high end where we pop it 5 times, we'll use an open hand, so if it slips, we don't skin our knuckles.
Right. Okay, well, thanks, Craig, for showing us torque wrenches this week, and we'll be back again to tap your knowledge.
I'll look forward to it.
Hi, we're back at CPM Labs with Craig Howell, and our cameraman has watched one too many episodes of Casablanca. Okay, no, hi, this is Dirk Dusharme, and we're
That's
back.
a great show, by the way.
Casablanca. Great show, I know.
Too bad they canceled it.
After one episode, too, I know.
Right.
Play it again, Sam.
Hi, we're back at CPM Labs with Craig Cochran, and
Craig Cochran?
What the hell are you talking
Who
about?
yeah, it's
the
different
hell
Craig.
is Craig Cochran?